So here I have you on a gimbal. This for sure is not going to work out nicely, but we'll try. So let's just show you around from all the sides on this newest build. It's a simulator that I built throughout the last year or so. In the absence of my YouTube presence, I've built about 4 different simulators. This is the latest build, and just show you around from the back. This basically here is inspired by, well, a sports car having the engine in the back. This is powered by the newest CPU by Intel. It's a 10900K, still not overclocked. It's running at 4.8 gigahertz. Well, it's boosted, but it's not overclocked. Still don't feel too comfortable doing it for some reason. And there's a 3080 Ti right there. It's quite glossy because it's a double glass build-up. I'll show you what I mean in a moment. It's quite necessary to have that nowadays, I believe, to be able to present VR, and I'll test the various headsets and be able to film it simultaneously. It does require quite a beast of a computer. So this is what I built last week, just about a day before the first episode aired on YouTube. So here we have amplifiers. Those are 2 amplifiers running the surround force feedback with the 4 butt kickers that are simulating the suspension and the tires. And this is an individual power socket setup, so you can basically turn off individual components of the build: beamer, computer, seat mover, LEDs, Acroforce wheel, the sim wind, GS4 seat, the 2 amplifiers, and the VR. And the way you get to that, because basically right now you see this quite lit up. Like normally you don't, the normal exposure would be way darker, like that's not even covering it. I don't know, for some reason this camera is too good. Okay, focus. All right, so I'll set you up down here, turn here. Yeah, you need to bear with me. All this technology is still not working the way it's supposed to. So as you can see here, this is removing the acrylic glass is quite easy. And let me just turn off here some fans, just so we have better audio. So yeah, I can get to this really easy because basically I need to get here all the time. There's all kinds of things that I need to switch around and mess around with. And cable management, yeah, that's not done. There is 1,000 cables here. Like you wouldn't believe how many cables a system like that requires. Like if I show you, it gets ridiculous. So all the cables are individually managed because I need to know where is what, and there is like 14 USB plugs that I'm running, so everything is labeled so I can take care of it quickly. All right, moving on. I need to wrap this up in no longer than 30 minutes. And yes, it's gonna be a longer video because if you want to see all the bells and whistles, we're gonna have to go through them. So here's the Sennheiser GSX 1200 is the model. This is basically what converts the surround sound for the headphones. And I will make a separate video about the audio, but basically this is the best that you can get pretty much for faking surround sound into headphones. This is drawing air into the computer because everything there is quite warm, and yeah, it's an IO powered cooler. Here you have the actuators, It's a 3 DOF system, so 3 degrees of freedom, with 2 actuators moving the seat and a third one being placed underneath that plate that you can't see, which moves the sim rig back and forwards when it loses traction loss. So the entire rig is, come on, work with me here. I'm sorry about the beeping noises. So the entire platform is moving when traction is lost. So with the pedals, with the wheel, with all in all. And this is a GS4 seat by Sim Experience, which has plates underneath here that fake G-force sensation as well. You won't be able to see it nowadays because from the old days I did modify it. It's all like custom foamed because it's very hard to sit on it. So now it's all like cushioned. The entire thing is fully softed out now. Jesus, my English is getting worse day by day. All right, so over there you can see the Aquaforce wheel set up there, box. And this is an interesting thing that we may take a closer look someday at. This is the support that is needed for the seatbelt retention system. So it individually manages the belts, and they're cross mounted. So the right one goes to the left point and the left seatbelt goes to the right point over there. I don't know if I can film it. Let's try it here. So you can see here, they're hooked on a 2-spring system. Those are very, very strong springs, and they work individually. And whenever the seat moves like into a turn, you will feel those pressure plates moving your body towards the seat belts, and then the seat belts work from the cross point corresponding to the right angle of the seatbelt retention system. And those things are very important, because otherwise you would just pull the seat back instead of the pressure on your shoulders. I believe Barry Rowland made a pretty good explanation of this. He has a different system set up, but this works quite nicely, and it's really expensive. And the company that makes them or made them does not produce them anymore. So I had to actually secondhand buy them, because yeah, no one builds those anymore. And so these belts here, so the side belts are also on a tension spring system, because well, they release the tension from the actuators, so there is no fixed point for the actuators to work against, and they do tighten it up. So if the seat, when you're making a right turn, the seat will move and this will tension up, and you will feel the pressure not just on the back belts but also on the side belts. So that's a 5.6 system. This is something that I copied from a baby seat from my child, from my car seat for my child. He had like those magnets. He had smaller ones, but I just bought like this huge magnets where you can place the belts and always know where they are. Because in VR it's quite difficult to find something whenever you have the headset mounted, and that way I always know, okay, they are right there by my shoulder and just need to grab it. All right, moving on. There's butt kickers right there. There's obviously one on the other side as well, and they move. Oh, Jesus. Okay, here we go. So, and there's two butt kickers in the front, and they simulate the suspension and the tire connection to the track, and they're individually set up. So there is a cut here that you can see, and those plates are on an absorber, like mounted on rubbers, and they so you don't basically feel like when you have your foot on the right side and the left foot on the left side, it doesn't blend. So when the right butt kicker goes off because you go over a curb, you don't feel it on the left foot, but you do feel it on the right foot, so that way you know, okay, that was the suspension from the right front corner. I hope that makes sense. And obviously you can move the pedals back and forth. And here the Heisingfeld pedals, sorry for my camera system setup here. Those are pretty heavily modified, well, modified. It's just all custom made to my preference. I wanted them inverted, and that was, actually on this system I kind of did not want to make an inverted kit, but I still made it just because it makes such a big difference when in a race. There's something about an inverted kit where the pressure point of the brake just feels entirely different when it goes this way up instead of this way down than on a normal setup. And they are, I don't know if you can see it better here. You see here there are some risers mounted in between the pedal and the plate. So that's right there, this black part. Those are 3D printed. You can buy them off of eBay when you search for Heisingfeld pedals. I don't know. They should produce something on their own for that inversion kit. I don't know why Niels isn't doing that, but yeah. And then I modified this gas pedal because the original plate was quite small, right? And for heel and toe, I prefer to have that point on the down low, and that way I can heel toe easier, and it just gives it a better feel. And so that's the OMP pedal plate along with the side plate, because again, this actually does come from motorsport where you have those on certain pedals. But I used it for VR because it's just quite handy, to be honest, because you have a motion seat, you do move around quite a bit, but it's just also easier in VR to always know, okay, when you hit your foot against the side, this is your gas pedal. So that's that. All right, where should we go next? Well, I guess here, this is the hydraulic handbrake by Ricmotec, and that's pretty much everything in Ricmotec's accessories. This comes from Real Motorsport, so it's basically just a modified real handbrake, modified to work with a PC. So you have your brake fluid here, and it's actually dampened quite nicely, and it's actually also positioned in the right angle, which is quite difficult to do. Like, the amount of times that I've tried to set it up correctly is ridiculous. So here we have the Fanatec shifter. The only thing that I made to my preference was the knob, simply because I have that Sparco knob on my real race car, and it just made sense to put it on here as well. So here up next is the button box. That's also by Ricmotec, which actually uses like this quite nice wheel for brake bias, and just gives you a lot of options to navigate stuff. It's obviously not that great in VR, but for for changes in the car that you don't need quite often, you can still use a button box. Let me just sit in here because it's getting quite tiresome to have that position. All right, so this is the wheel. You would run it like somewhat like that. This gimbal was a really bad choice, but it does have some advantages. All right, so this is the Cube Formula wheel. And well, I didn't do much here except for like customizing it again to my needs. And since I'm driving mostly the Ferrari 488 GT, I put this badge here because I prefer not to see the Cube logo, sorry. This wheel is actually a really nice addition. I had to sell quite a few rims just to get my hands on this, well, to finance this, mainly because of this button here, the funky switch, what Barry calls it. This knob is so important. I had a really nice custom wheel before that, made by VESA, custom firmware, but the problem on that wheel is that it didn't have this button. I'm sure you can order custom buttons for the other wheel as well, but I just wanted to get this. This wheel will replace 7 buttons. So on the other wheel I had 8 buttons. So as you can guess, like when you have only 8 buttons but you need to navigate in the menu, this is something that will replace just all the functions and still give you much more options. I will go through the wheel and which 2 wheels every sim driver needs, but this is my setup. And you have here, well, it's deactivated right now because I pushed the buttons there, so we have less noise. But basically I can control here the fan system. So the ventilation system through here is, well, in the cockpit car, it just serves as basically a ventilation system, which is really important for VR, so you don't fog up the headset. And those vents are really, really strong. Like just out of the box when you buy them, they're crazy strong. Like I usually, since the GTE car does not have ABS, I use those 2 buttons to control the volume, well, the speed of the ventilation, and I use it at like 20 or 30%, because if you set it to 100, you'll get a sore throat. Like you'll just get sick. it's that powerful. Up there you have a GoPro camera which just films the pedals, the pedal setup. Once I actually start recording, you know, you can then have a foot cam, which is a really nice angle, and it's lit quite nicely, so you have proper lighting. All right, I guess I'll just get out of here. Well, there's a up here. Come on, move. So here's the keyboard setup. This is fully backlit wireless Logitech keyboard. Sorry about all the fingerprints. This was also custom made, so it's in place all the time, and it's basically an aluminum, like rack that will hold it at a certain angle, which is really nice. Here's a headset resting position. This is a Pimax on there. It's quite heavily modified. We'll get to that in a later point. And there is also HTC Vive laying on the bottom because I don't have space for that, but I still try to use it as well for various tests, but I'm actually quite happy with the Pimax. All right, moving on to what? Well, the headset. There is this gimbal is killing me. So this headset is by Sennheiser as well, matching the GSX 12,000, well, not 12,000, 1,200 that you see over there. And yeah, I don't know why I wanted to show you this again. All right, so this headset is quite nice. It's marketed as a gaming headset, but it's still Sennheiser, so it's quite good. I had a better headset before, but it was an open back design, which made you hear just about anything that was going on outside the simulator. So for example, shifts are quite loud and you could hear those, and the same as well as the actuators, the buttkickers and everything else. So to improve on immersion, I had to get closed back headphones, and the way to do it is basically to get something matching with the GSX 1200, and that provided the best sound. But I'll make a separate video on sound because it's really important to improve on immersion. All right, Jesus, okay. So this here is something that doesn't look quite right, mainly because the system was from the beginning designed to be to end here. So it would end normally here and I would cover it up and it would look nice. But because I chose to make the inversion kit after I designed and built the entire system, now the pedals are extruding out of the form, and then I had to cover it up a little bit. So matching the back glass, I installed those panels in the front. to a little bit cover it up. Nothing too special done. I don't know if it's gonna stay like that or not, but yeah, it is what it is. Camera, come on. Why don't you go the other way? Okay, bear with me. Well, while we're here, this is the screen that comes from the projector here. And this projector is a gaming projector. It's a fully short throw projector that allows to have a really big picture while being only a meter away or so from the wall. And that system was made for, well, technically for events, because you could have everything in one setup. Like, you don't need any monitors, you don't need to connect anything, all the cables, all the management, everything is in that system. So if you go to an event, all you need is one power cord. So you can see it right there. There's one power cord connected and one network cable. The network cable is not necessary since it has Wi-Fi built in. And you can just, you know, get to an event and with a few clicks start racing. And everywhere you go, you will have a wall. And since you don't need a lot of distance to the wall, you can have a great wall screen that's like 100 inches or more. Yeah, no, that's more than 100 inches. So, and that's full HD, and it is a gaming projector, meaning it's low latency. It actually supports even 3D, like if you have 3D glasses. One of the last things are those shock absorbers here. Those are crazy expensive. There's 6 of them installed, and they support up to, I believe, 200 kilograms each. Maybe a little less, I'm not sure. But those cost, yeah, they're like 50 euros a piece. But they're needed so you don't shake the entire house, because with the 4 butt kickers and the 3 actuators moving, especially like on a rally stage, if you put on like dirt rally, yeah, you will disturb just about anyone within the same building. Doesn't matter if it's like, I'm not talking like apartment, I'm talking about like the entire building complex. So yeah, that's about it for now. I'll have to cut the video here because I'm running out of battery. We will go through all the individual components if you're interested in that. I'm sure there'll be questions or requests, and we'll just keep talking about you know, the individual things that you are interested in. May it be like the VR headsets or the steering wheels or the ventilation system or the pedals, actuators, sound, graphics, whatever it is, just put in a request in the comments below, and I will take a look at what will be next. And this will be just a nice series where we can discuss this, and I'll have something to talk about and to focus on the next upcoming videos. So let's wrap this up, and yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in a moment. Well, all right then. So now you have finally seen the new build of the motion simulator. It's been quite a while, and it's been a journey, but I haven't even shown everything that I wanted. I noticed that I completely forgot to show the Aquaforce base station, and along with a couple of other gimmicks like a cup holder, which is obligatory. Anyway, so since most of you are still unknown or unfamiliar with this channel, I'm just gonna briefly again introduce myself. My name is Alex. This channel has not been up for the last couple of years. Well, 5 years has actually been. I did post the first video a couple of days ago, and now this is the follow-up to what's coming, to basically show you the equipment that I have here now in the new studio, and we will be posting hopefully a lot more videos. I'm still a little bit hesitant on promising stuff, because the last time I promised stuff, it's been 5 years. So, you know, bear with me, but I do try to take this seriously. Obviously, we got the studio now, so I better make it worthwhile. I do see a quite a good movement in the subscribers. So there's been like a couple of hundred new subscribers to this channel from the last video to this video, so that's pretty good, I suppose. And we did lose many subscribers throughout the years. I said in the first video it's been like 3,000 subscribers, but then I looked, it was like 2.8, and now it's almost 3 again. So what else? Kind of lost it here a little bit because it's midnight. Yeah, this is the bad guy, by the way. The little gimbal that I did use it to film with the cell phone first try, but you know, the cell phone does have really nice colors and can film pretty close, whereas the DSLRs here are a little bit hard to film with. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble because it's always happening at this late hour. However, just before I go, I wanted to mention it was really cool seeing all the people commenting on the first video. With, you know, just there's some names that I recognize again, some people that remember stuff. It's crazy good to see that the community is actually still here and people are still crazy and still racing and still spending money on on this hobby. So I'm happy, I'm excited, I'm really you know, grateful to actually see all those people back again. There's been, I don't know, 50, 100 comments, and most people that are still back from those old days. So that's pretty cool. That's actually really nice to see, because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know people are still around. Who else is going to see this? I was thinking like maybe 2-3 people will comment, but it's actually good to see all, you know, see you all back. So yeah, that's nice. I'll wrap this up here. Post in the comments on what you want to see next. Where should we go? Where should we take this? I can't promise you exactly that this is going to be what I'll address next. I will definitely take it into account and just discuss and show you whatever you're interested in. For example, in sound, I'll you know, take out the equipment and probably take it here. I have this very fancy desk here that, you know, moves up and down, and we have a DSLR camera here up top, so we can actually film down, and it should be nice. It should be pretty decent. As soon as I get around with the equipment, hopefully the sound is quite good. Yeah, I can't let you go. All right, yeah, this is it. Take care, guys.